Continue from Chaitanya Charitamrita introduction. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. When this is established, that yesterday we read was Madan Mohanji, Govindaji, and Gopinath. Okay, when this is established in the 16th verse, Krishnadas offers his obeisances to the functional deity Govinda. The Govinda deity is called the functional deity because he shows us how to serve Radha and Krishna. The Madan Mohan deity simply establishes that I am your eternal servant. With Govinda, however, there is an actual acceptance of service. So the Abhideya, Madan Mohan deity is the Sambandha. He establishes our relationship. That who are we? We are the eternal servant of Krishna. And then now if we are the eternal servant, so what shall we do? Okay, then we have to serve. So how to serve? That is with Govinda Dev. Govinda resides eternally in Vrindavan. In the spiritual world of Vrindavan, the buildings are made of touchstone. The cows are known as Surabhi cows, givers of abundant milk. And the trees are known as wish-fulfilling trees, for they yield whatever one desires. So in Vrindavan, to our eyes, it's all cement and that, but we are not able to see the real Vrindavan, in the spiritual Vrindavan. That is made of touchstone. Touchstone means anything you touch with the touchstone will turn to gold. And then the cows are Surabhi cows. They can give us unlimited amounts of milk, how much milk we want. And the trees Kalpa Vriksha, means whatever we ask from a tree, they will give us. Here we have mango tree, or we have, or whatever, other trees, apple tree. But in Vrindavan, you can ask the tree anything. You can ask apples from a mango tree, or you could ask, even gold, anything. You could ask anything from these trees. But the devotees are pure. They don't misuse it. They ask only for what they need to please Krishna. Here, if we had wish-fulfilling trees, we will just become more and more greedy, and we'll become more and more crazy and not leave this material world. Because we still have too many material desires. We still want to keep everything for ourselves, In Vrindavan, Krishna herds the Surabhi cows, and he's worshipped by hundreds and thousands of gopis, cowherd girls, who are all goddesses of fortune. When Krishna descends to the material world, the same Vrindavan descends with him, just as an entourage accompanies an important personage. Because when Krishna comes, his land also comes. Vrindavan is considered to exist beyond the material world. So Krishna is, that's what in Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji says that I'm seeing Krishna, and all the land is made of touchstone, and then there are Surabhi cows, and then there's wish-fulfilling trees, and he's surrounded and he's worshipped by thousands and thousands of Lakshmis, means the cowherd girls. They are the original Lakshmi. Srimati Radharani, she's the original Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. And so when Krishna comes here to this material world, then his own abode, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So that same Vrindavan, it comes, wherever he goes, that Vrindavan goes. So therefore the devotees take shelter of Vrindavan in India, for it is considered to be a replica of the original Vrindavan. Although one may complain that no Kalpavriksha, wish-fulfilling trees exist there, when the Goswamis were there, Kalpavriksha were present. It is not that one can simply go to such a tree and make demands. One must first become a devotee. The Goswamis would live under a tree for one night only, and the trees would satisfy all their desires. For the common man, this may all seem very wonderful. But as one makes progress in devotional service, all this can be realized. So for the pure devotee, wherever there is the pure devotee, everywhere is Vrindavan, because he's always with Krishna. He's never away from Krishna. And so he's always in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is actually experienced as it is by persons who have stopped trying to derive pleasure from material enjoyment. When will my mind become cleansed of all hankering for material enjoyment? So I will be able to see Vrindavan, one great devotee asks. Right now, because we have so many material desires, our consciousness is so covered, and those desires are so strong, they're so strong, that we are not able to see Vrindavan. We're not able to see Krishna. Only thing we are able to see is this matter, because we are just want to enjoy this material world, enjoy the matter. The more Krishna conscious we become and the more we advance, the more everything is revealed as spiritual. So the more we hear and chant, what will happen? Our consciousness gets cleaned. So the more we clean a dirty window, the more clearly we can see outside. The more dirt there is, our visibility of things outside, we can't see very clear. So right now, because the heart is too much covered by material desires, we are not able to see. But the more we hear and chant, then gradually, everything will be revealed. Thus, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami considered the Vrindavan in India to be good as the Vrindavan in the spiritual sky. And in the 16th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he describes Radharani and Krishna as seated beneath a wish-fulfilling tree in Vrindavan on a throne decorated with valuable jewels. There, Krishna's dear gopi friends serve Radha and Krishna by singing, dancing, offering betel nuts and refreshments, and decorating their lordships with flowers. Even today in India, people decorate swinging thrones and recreate this scene during the month of July-August. Generally, at that time, people go to Vrindavan to offer their respects to the deities there. So the Jhulan Yatra is being referred to here by Prabhupada. We also recently had the Jhulan Yatra, and temples all over the world celebrated it with so much enthusiasm and so much love. And I was just hearing a class on the boat festival, because recently there was a boat festival where Radha and Krishna are put on a boat. And so Guru Maharaj was saying that, of course, Krishna enjoys when we are organizing these festivals for him. But the devotees feel more enjoyment than Krishna by putting together these festivals. The devotees they feel more pleasure in serving Krishna. And so Krishna is so merciful, he's so kind, he's letting us enjoy even more than what he enjoys, although he's God himself. That was a very nice realization I heard. So finally, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami offers his blessings to his readers in the name of the Gopinath deity, who is Krishna as master and proprietor of the gopis. When Krishna played upon his flute, all the gopis or cowherd girls were attracted by the sound and left their household duties. And when they came to him, he danced with them. These activities are all described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. These gopis were childhood friends of Krishna, and many were married, for in India, the girls are generally married by the age of 12. Well, not anymore, but at those times, yeah. The boys, however, are not married before 18. So Krishna, who was 15 or 16 at the time, was not married. Nonetheless, he called these girls from their homes and invited them to dance with him. That dance is called the Rasa Leela dance, and it is the most elevated of all the Vrindavan pastimes. Krishna is therefore called Gopinath because he's the beloved master of the gopis. So the Gopinath deity is our Prayojana deity, the perfection of being situated in our relationship with Krishna. And here Prabhupada is mentioning the Rasa Leela. We have been hearing about it in the Krishna book recently. So we can stop here for today.
Okay.
But we'll just finish this.
Yeah, we can finish this. Yeah.
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami petitions the blessings of Lord Gopinath. May that Gopinath, the master of the gopis, Krishna bless you. May you become blessed by Gopinath. The author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita prays that just as Krishna attracted the gopis by the sweet sound of his flute, he will also attract the reader's mind by that transcendental vibration. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's giving us a blessings. Throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita actually he gives blessings. And then in this, he's giving the blessings that just as Krishna is attractive to the gopis, and the gopis are attracted by Krishna's flute, that our mind also gets attracted by hearing this transcendental Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so we stop here. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.